Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's mythological story. Today, we are going to take you into a mythic epic that spans countless generations, the Titanomachy from the Theogony. This epic battle not only changed the order of the gods in ancient Greek mythology, but also shaped the fundamental structure of the universe. This conflict, from chaos to order, from betrayal between father and son to fierce god versus god battles, marked the rise of Zeus as a symbol of the new cosmic order. In today's content, we will explore this fascinating mythic journey and reveal every thrilling moment. Let's begin this wonderful journey through mythology together. In ancient Greek mythology, the origin of the universe began with chaos. This history comes from Hesiod's Theogony, which describes the creation of the cosmos. This story reveals the war between the gods and the giants, showing how the gods emerged from chaos and ultimately became the dominant forces ruling the world. Every detail deeply reflects how the cosmic order struggled to rise from the primordial darkness and, through continuous conflict, establish the sovereignty of the deities. The birth of chaos and the formation of Earth. In the beginning, there was no earth, sky, mountains, or oceans, only an endless darkness that enveloped everything. This chaotic period is considered the primordial state of the world, where all things existed in disorder and confusion. The characteristics of this state were not only physical darkness, but also a lack of shape and structure. Chaos, this formless and soundless existence, was neither tangible nor conceptual. It represented all potential and infinite possibilities. Within this chaos, there was no passage of time, no life, only an expansive and silent void, like the womb of the universe, where all future creation and order were hidden in the depths of this infinite darkness. The birth of Gaia, the awakening of the power of Earth. However, it was from this darkness that the first tangible existence emerged, Gaia, the goddess of the earth. The birth of Gaia marked the beginning of the cosmic order. As the embodiment of the earth, Gaia symbolized fertility, nourishment, and stability. She is the mother of all, the source of all life. From her embrace, mountains, oceans, rivers, and various forms of life began to take shape, and the foundation of the world gradually formed. Gaia's appearance was like the first light in the chaos. What she brought forth was not only the earth itself, but also all the elements and powers of the earth. She was not only the beginning of physical existence, but also the forerunner of the cosmic order. She shaped the contours of the mountains, nourished the depths of the oceans, and allowed life to blossom within her embrace. Uranus and the birth of the sky. With the birth of Gaia, the sky also came into being. Uranus, as the god of the sky, became the protector and ruler above the earth. The birth of Uranus signified the distinction and establishment of boundaries between the earth and the sky, laying the foundation for the order of the world. The union of Gaia and Uranus led to the creation of other elements and forces in the cosmos. Uranus' existence symbolizes the boundless sky, and his power encompassed all things in the air, including the stars, clouds, and winds. Together with Gaia, he created the Titans, the giant deities representing various forces of nature. These gods were powerful and full of primal energy, marking the first generation of gods in ancient mythology. Poseidon and the formation of the ocean. With the birth of the earth and the sky, Poseidon, the god of the sea, also emerged. The birth of Poseidon symbolized the vastness and depth of the ocean, and his power was limitless, covering all seas, lakes, and rivers. His symbol, the trident, had the ability to control the waves, summon storms, and even cause earthquakes. Poseidon's appearance represented one of the most powerful forces in nature, the boundless ocean. It could be tranquil, yet in an instant, it could become fiercely violent. With Poseidon's arrival, the Earth's waters became teeming with life, allowing the flourishing and propagation of life on Earth. Uranus and Gaia, the dual forces of creation. Gaia, as the embodiment of the Earth, is not only the mother of life, but also symbolizes endless fertility and nourishment. Her birth brought about the formation of the Earth, while Uranus represented the vast sky. When these two deities united, the first generation of gods in the universe, the Titans, were born. The Titans' powers were deeply connected to the fundamental elements of nature. They each govern different forces such as the sea, the sky, time, and life, demonstrating their close relationship with the world. The Titans were entirely different in form from ordinary beings, possessing massive bodies and unparalleled strength. Their power was not only limited to the physical realm, but also included control over various cosmic forces, representing the most primal and powerful energies in nature. Each Titan had its own unique traits and abilities, and these powers often directly influenced the order and evolution of the universe. Uranus' fear and tyranny. However, despite the endless power and possibilities that the Titans brought to the universe, Uranus was filled with fear for the future. He knew he was the most powerful god in the cosmos, yet he feared that his throne might be challenged by his descendants. In response to this threat, he resorted to extreme measures, imprisoning all of his newborn children deep within the earth. Whether they were the firstborn Titans or later offspring, none were spared. This action not only demonstrated Uranus' intense obsession with power, but also reflected the deep fear within him. Uranus' tyrannical actions were undoubtedly a great insult and harmed his wife, Gaia. As the Earth goddess, Gaia had already endowed the Earth with boundless vitality and energy, but she was angered and displeased by her husband's actions. As the mother of all life, it was her belief that the fates of these children should be in their own hands, not confined in endless darkness and abyss. The rise of Cronus and the defeat of his father. After growing increasingly intolerant of Uranus' tyranny, Gaia decided to take action and seek a change in fate. She began to form a close connection with one of the Titans, her son, Cronus. Cronus was the most powerful among the Titans, large in stature, and possessed immense strength and courage. Gaia saw his potential and decided to have him challenge Uranus' authority, overthrowing him to reshape the entire cosmos. Gaia provided Cronus with the necessary assistance and guided him on how to defeat his father. Following his mother's advice, Cronus devised a clever and deadly plan to deal with Uranus. He secretly took a sharp sickle, and when Uranus was unprepared, Cronus used it to cut open Uranus' symbol of power, the sky. In that moment, Uranus' tyrannical rule finally ended, and Cronus successfully became the new ruler of the cosmos. However, the conflict between father and son did not end there. Cronus overthrew Uranus and became the new ruler of the universe, but he inherited his father's fear. He began to have the same doubts about his own children. Cronus believed that, like his father, he too would be overthrown by his offspring. As a result, he decided to take extreme measures against his children, devouring each one of them as soon as they were born. Rhea's trick and the birth of Zeus. As a goddess of the Titan race, Rhea was married to her brother Cronus. Although the two of them had countless children together, Cronus was filled with fear for the future. Having witnessed the tragic end of his father Uranus, Cronus knew that he too might be overthrown by his own offspring. Therefore, Cronus chose to devour every newborn child to prevent them from threatening his throne. However, Rhea was not a passive, silent victim. As a mother, she understood that Cronus' actions would destroy all of her children. Each time she watched her newborn offspring being ruthlessly devoured, her heart was filled with pain and anger. Such atrocities were unbearable to Rhea, and she decided to take action, protect her children, and put an end to Cronus' tyranny. When Rhea became pregnant once more, She knew this child would have the power to change the world. This would be Zeus, the future king of the gods. Unlike before, Rhea did not passively submit to fate, but instead, cleverly devised a plan of resistance. She decided to hide the soon-to-be-born Zeus and prevent Cronus from discovering him. Zeus's revenge, forcing his father to regurgitate the gods. When Zeus was born, Rhea immediately took him to Crete and entrusted him to a group of kind nymphs who would care for him. These nymphs, guardians of nature, possessed powerful abilities and played a crucial role in Zeus's upbringing. To prevent Cronus from discovering the secret, Rhea cleverly gave him a stone wrapped in swaddling clothes, making Cronus believe it was Zeus. The plan succeeded in deceiving Cronus, who unsuspectingly swallowed the stone, thinking that Rhea had once again handed him a newborn child. This action bought Rhea and Zeus some time, and it paved the way for the future revenge. On Crete, Zeus grew up healthy and strong under the nymph's care, gradually realizing that he was destined to change the fate of the world. He did not rush into revenge but chose to wait patiently, preparing to defeat his father in the most cunning way and rescue all his swallowed siblings from Cronus's stomach. When Zeus had matured into a brave and wise deity, he decided to seek revenge personally. He returned to Cronus's palace and, during a meeting, used a clever scheme to make Cronus drink a potion made of wine and mustard. This potion had a powerful emetic effect. Cronus, unsuspecting, drank it and soon began to experience intense vomiting. With the sound of his retching, one by one, the children that Cronus had swallowed emerged. These gods, who had been trapped in their father's stomach, had not weakened from their long imprisonment. Instead, they reappeared fully grown and full of power. These gods included Hades, Poseidon, Hera, Hestia, and Demeter, each of them symbolizing the rise of a new force. They not only regained their freedom, but also possessed the power to overthrow Cronus and change the course of fate. Zeus led these newly reborn siblings in a united effort to launch a cosmic counterattack, waging a deadly war against Cronus, the Titanomachy. Titanomachy, the clash between the gods and the Titans. After Zeus finally managed to rescue his siblings and release them from their father Cronus's stomach, the flames of revenge burned even fiercer. This war, lasting for 10 years, known as the Titanomachy, was a battle of fate against patriarchal tyranny, determining the future of the cosmic order. Zeus did not fight alone. He quickly gathered allies from all corners, with two of his most crucial supporters being his brothers Poseidon and Hades. Poseidon, the ruler of the seas, wielded his trident, capable of tearing the earth apart and shaking the oceans. Hades, the lord of the underworld, had the power to control the dead and the forces of the afterlife. Together, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades formed the core of the war. At the same time, Zeus's sisters, Hera, Hestia, and Demeter, joined their cause, providing powerful support in their respective domains. Cronus led the Titans, his army composed of mighty and ancient Titans, gods deeply connected to the elements of nature, possessing tremendous strength. In this grand confrontation, the disparity in power between Zeus and the Titans became overwhelming. For the Titans, this was a life-or-death battle to defend the patriarchy, while for Zeus and his allies, it was a decisive war to overthrow tyranny and fight for freedom and order. The intensity and climax of the war. The battles of the Titanomachy were nothing short of thrilling, shaking the very heavens and earth. The conflict between Zeus and the Titans was not just a direct clash on the battlefield, but also filled with clever strategies and extraordinary divine powers. Each deity showcased their unique abilities. Poseidon's control over the oceans made the seas churn. Zeus, with his immense thunderous power, caused the skies to thunder. And Hades used the terrifying forces of the underworld, pulling enemies into the abyss. Hera used her wisdom and strategy. Hestia protected the homes of the gods, and Demeter contributed with the power of agriculture and life. As time passed, the war reached its climax. Though the Titans' strength was formidable, their ranks began to fracture, and internal conflicts started to emerge. Zeus cleverly exploited this, gradually gaining the support of other gods and steering the tide of battle in his favor. After a long and grueling fight, Zeus's forces, with the cooperation and valor of the gods, ultimately succeeded in defeating the Titan gods. The defeated Titans and the abyss of Tartarus. After the war, Zeus showed no mercy to the defeated Titans. With a strict yet just attitude, he imprisoned all the captured Titans in Tartarus, a place of endless darkness deep within the underworld. This abyss was farther than the distance between Earth and the sky, symbolizing the Titans' complete defeat and eternal despair. Tartarus was an inescapable prison, an abyss of hopelessness. There, the Titans were forever trapped, no longer able to pose a threat to the world. This was Zeus's ultimate revenge against the patriarchal tyranny, marking the rise of a new generation of gods and the end of the old order. For Zeus, this was not only vengeance against his father Cronus, but also a punishment for all forces that sought to challenge freedom and justice. Zeus's rule and the establishment of the new order. With the destruction of the Titans, Zeus became the supreme ruler of the universe. Together with his brothers, he governed this new world, bringing everything into order and harmony. Zeus ruled the sky and thunder, Poseidon governed the oceans, and Hades ruled the underworld. Hera became the goddess of marriage and family, Hestia was in charge of the home and warmth, and Demeter oversaw agriculture and the harvest of the earth. Zeus's victory symbolized the birth of a new order, bringing about a more fair and just pantheon of gods. In this new order, the powers of the gods were reasonably distributed, and the different realms of the world operated in harmony. The establishment of this new cosmic order not only represented a rebellion against past tyranny, but also led the world toward prosperity and balance. The Gigantomachy, the Earth's revenge. After the defeat and imprisonment of the Titans, the universe seemed to enter a brief period of calm. However, this peace was short-lived, for with the destruction of the Titans, a new threat quietly emerged. This time, the challenge to the rule of the gods did not come from other deities, but from the giants, birthed by Gaia, the mother of the earth. These giants possessed immense strength, and were filled with boundless hatred and vengeful fury toward the gods. They swore to overthrow Zeus and the other gods, seeking to return the world to the chaotic state it once was. The outbreak of the Gigantomachy. The rise of the giants was not only a challenge to the failure of the Titans, but also a symbol of nature's retaliation. These giants were colossal, possessing astonishing strength, and with the support of their mother Gaia, they waged a relentless war against the gods. The Gigantomachy was like a catastrophe of the natural world, shaking the very foundations of existence. The Gigantomachy was not just a war against Zeus and his siblings, but a disruption of the entire cosmic order. In this war, the giants, with their immense physical power and the forces of nature on their side, unleashed unprecedented chaos. Each of their attacks felt like the earth itself was crumbling, with even mountains collapsing under their might. Yet, behind this turmoil, it wasn't just a battle of strength, it was also a contest of wisdom and strategy. When faced with this new force, Zeus did not underestimate them. He called upon the gods, maintaining his role as their leader, and inspired them to show unwavering determination and courage. The power and challenge of the giants. The power of the giants was not to be underestimated. Their immense strength and earth-shattering abilities on the battlefield presented the gods with an unprecedented challenge. These giants did not rely solely on physical strength. Each of them possessed unique abilities granted by their mother, Gaia. Some giants excelled in manipulating the earth, causing the land to tremble, while others could summon storms and flames, wielding the power of the atmosphere and the oceans for their own purposes. As the mother of these giants, Gaia's support for the war was not only emotional. In her desire to challenge Zeus' rule, she infused the giants with all the natural and mystical powers at her disposal, enabling them to confront the gods' divine strength. Despite their tremendous raw power and wild nature, the giants faced a significant challenge during the war. They lacked the wisdom and strategy possessed by the gods. The gods' counterattack and victory. Despite the enormous strength of the giants, their fight was not invincible. The wisdom and unity of the gods became the key factors in their ultimate victory. Zeus, as the leader of the gods, led his siblings in a powerful counterattack. In the Gigantomachy, Zeus' thunderbolt remained the most formidable weapon on the battlefield, unmatched by any foe. He wielded thunder and storms, not only weakening the giant's strength, but also turning the tide of battle at crucial moments. Poseidon, the god of the sea, used his trident to control the oceans and the earth, unleashing wave after wave of tsunamis and earthquakes, showcasing his mastery over the forces of nature. Meanwhile, Hades played a vital role in the underworld, summoning monsters from the depths of the earth to fight against the giants, further weakening their forces. Hera and Hestia assisted Zeus with their wisdom and strategies. Their tactics allowed the gods to precisely strike the giants' weaknesses, making the divine army appear even more invincible. Ultimately, after a prolonged and intense battle, the gods triumphed over these powerful enemies, and the giants' rebellion was completely crushed. While the giants' power remained fearsome, they could not match the gods' wisdom and unity. Zeus' consolidation of power. After the Gigantomachy, Zeus' position as the ruler of the cosmos was further solidified. This war not only earned him the trust of all the gods, but also established him as the supreme ruler of the universe. With the conclusion of the war, order was restored to the world, and Zeus firmly established his dominion over the sky, the sea, and the earth. In the aftermath, Zeus punished the defeated giants. Most of them were eternally imprisoned in the underworld or other distant places, rendering them powerless to threaten the world's order again. Zeus, along with his siblings, took control of every corner of the world, establishing a stable and powerful divine hierarchy. Zeus' rule and the establishment of Mount Olympus. After successfully overthrowing the threats of the Titans and the giants, Zeus' position as the ruler became increasingly solidified. Ultimately, Zeus not only brought the earth, the sea, and the sky completely under his control, but he also chose Mount Olympus as the dwelling place for the gods, establishing his supremacy as the supreme ruler of the world. Mount Olympus, this hidden and sacred mountain, became the sanctuary of the gods and symbolized the beginning of a new mythological era. After successfully defeating the Titans and the giants, Zeus' rule grew even more secure. He established Mount Olympus as the home for the gods, securing his status as the supreme ruler of the universe. This sacred and hidden mountain became not only a refuge for the gods, but also a symbol of a new age in mythology. The sacredness and majesty of Mount Olympus. Mount Olympus, located in the northern part of Greece, is one of the most symbolically significant places in Greek mythology. Not only is it the highest peak in Greece, but it is also the ideal residence for the gods. Zeus' choice of Mount Olympus as the home for the gods signifies that he not only conquered all his enemies, but also elevated the boundary between humans and the divine to an unprecedented height. Mount Olympus is depicted as a mysterious and majestic place, shrouded in clouds and mist, with eternal greenery. Zeus and the other gods reside there, enjoying eternal peace and tranquility. At the summit, a grand palace stands adorned with gold and white marble, shining brightly, as if it were the boundary between heaven and earth. Each deity has their own domain, maintaining a delicate balance with one another while possessing their own independent power and responsibilities. Zeus, as the ruler of Mount Olympus, holds the highest authority. His palace is located at the peak of the mountain, symbolizing his unparalleled position as the supreme ruler. Other important deities, such as Hera, Poseidon, and Hades, also have their own residences and territories on the mountain, each corresponding to different elements and powers of the natural world. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we can continue bringing you more exciting hero legends and mythological tales. We believe these ancient stories not only offer endless enjoyment, but can also provide inspiration and insight. Share your thoughts and feelings with us, and let us know what you think about the Titanomachy or other ancient Greek heroes. We look forward to seeing your comments and discussing them together. See you next time on our next episode.